it just always sounds so simple when other people talk about sailing or crossings or you know, they, even if they say something happened to them, it always sounds as if, you know, as if they didn't really struggle with it. When I was on this trip now, coming here, I thought about sailing the boat. I was like, damn it, you know, forget about sailing. Forget about single-handed sailing. Just, you know, just sail the boat when you get there and you're done with it. I felt so bad. I was so overwhelmed by everything happening, and I had the feeling I was only taking stupid decisions, and I had the feeling I don't really know what I'm doing. Alright. It looks like calling me already. Everything is stored, more or less. There's my grab bag. There's all the stuff I need for under the way, like my harness and my nice Tagalog jacket, some rain pants, and some rain boots in case of thunderstorm, big hammer, something to cut stays in case the mast comes down. Here's my friend Mr. Slav. Righty ho. Wind vane. Then here's my little sailing box where I have everything in that I need for the next 2 days, more or less. Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, I bought a rotisserie chicken for under the way because, like, it's gonna be 2 days and I can't really do much in those 2 days. Alright, so it's gonna be going back to Panama, which, well, was not the plan, but I mean, that's life, I guess. It's gonna be 200 miles, like heading 255 more or less until we heading straight towards Green Island. I'm just warming up the engine a little bit, and then I have to take up the anchor chain. And it's just now that the wind is picking up, which awesome. I mean, the whole day was completely super hot, no wind at all, and now that I want to leave, it's like picking up. Well, I'm back in the San Blas. It's back home, and I've had my second solo or bigger solo trip from Cartagena to here. It was a bit rough. It was between 10 and 20 knots of wind, and the sea state went up to like 3, sometimes a bit more. And I was pretty fine with the waves and the wind actually, because I trust Karl and I know that he can take them. But my wind vane has trouble steering on beam reach, so that was the course I was doing where I had to do. It was quite tricky because it would run out of the course, and then there's a danger of jibing, or the genoa would fall in, or get too close to the wind, and then the genoa would start frothing as well. So basically the first night I hardly slept because I had to correct the wind vane all the time, and it was quite hard. And then something of the wind vane broke, like a line where the pulley, one of the pulleys is attached with a line to that metal construction on the back, and when I tried to fix it, I had a little small incident. What happened is I jived, and the preventer that I set up on one of the hooks for the reefing points, that thing got loose from the pressure, so the boom actually came over, and the tiller came over, and it kind of smacked me, like with my back onto the metal, and that was pretty. Nothing happened. I mean, I sat there and I was like, okay, breathe, relax, and try to not like go crazy. Now I know I should have just put the preventer around the boom instead of putting on that hook, but I just didn't think about that in that moment. And because my autopilot didn't work, I couldn't really, and even if it had worked, it's really difficult with all the big waves and the currents that it won't hold me in the wind, or it won't hold Karl in the wind. So on this trip I really had to learn, or I really figured out that I need to heave to if I want to do any maneuver with the sails. But still, it's something. It just costs so much energy to do all these things, to figure these things out. You're by yourself. You don't sleep. And then that situation with the jive where I thought, like, man, that was just stupid. That was really dangerous, and things breaking on the boat, and just kind of showing me, it was a good decision not to go to Cuba. It's this is only my second solo run for 2 overnights. Because of the currents and the wind vane steering, I couldn't make it further down north, and I had to go further down north. So to go down north, I actually had to hand steer for 7 hours in the end to actually hold the course that I wanted to hold. And I mean, I could have also decided to stay 1 day longer at sea and just jibe, go all the way down north, and then work my way up again. But when I came into the San Blas, the entrance that I went through, there's a couple of banks where it goes from 150 meters depth up to 10 meters of depth. So because there is a big swell, that when I got there, it's 10 feet or something. So when I looked at it coming in, I saw waves breaking everywhere, and I was looked at the charts again, and I'm like, there's no reef, there shouldn't be any breaking waves. But that was just because, because the big waves coming in, and then all of a sudden the depth would change so much, so it would just build up a lot of breaking waves, and it looked so scary. So I tried to go around it, but it seemed it was just stretching over the whole pass, and so I tried to find a way where an entrance where it wasn't so bad. So I make my way there, and I see the waves crashing right and left of me. It's pretty scary, it's all this turquoise bubbly water around you. And so I go over that stretch that I decided I would go over, and then I look back, and I just see this humongous wave building up behind me and lifting up Karl like crazy. We go all the way up, and then I was like, okay, now don't capsize. Try to hold the boat straight, don't go to the side, and then the boat would just and run down this 3-meter wave. And I was at the tiller, holding on to it like crazy, trying to not let it go to the side so it would capsize me. And there's 3 or 4 waves like that going by. And it was, after that my legs, I was shaking. I have to admit, it was pretty crazy. It was all shaky, and I mean, we made it, and we didn't capsize, but it was definitely scary. Then also during the trip, I wanted to, at a certain point, I wanted to start the engine, and there was any cooling water. You know, I went from outside to inside. I opened the through hole, see if there was water. There was water. I checked the sea strainer. There was nothing in there. It was all good. So by that time, because it was pretty rolly, I got pretty seasick, and I had to go outside and relieve myself. And because I hadn't slept all night, really, and because I had to do this work down there, you know, and I didn't feel good. I was like, okay, we'll just forget about the engine. Just put the wind vane on a course that it can steer, you know, no matter what way you're going. But, you know, do that and get some rest, you know, just get yourself back to some forces. So after those 3 hours, I was pretty rested, and the sea state had calmed down a bit. So I went in, I took the pump off, I checked the impella was good. So I didn't really know what was going on. So what I did, I thought, you know, maybe there's like some air in the lines or whatever. So I started the engine with the through hole closed, actually. So I mean, just for like 10 seconds or whatever it takes me to go from here down there. So it would like suck, and then I opened it up while the engine was running, and then there was water coming. It's all about learning how to keep yourself going, really. I'll have to gather my strength and my motivation and think about what I want to do, and, you know, go through all the things that went wrong and see what I learned from it, and not make the same mistakes twice, and work more on Karl, work more on myself, do some more trial runs, and then when I'm ready, head out again and, you know, try again. But more about that next week. Bye.